Telling the world, which is a very ambitious mission, and you have this number special on human rights. So I think it is exactly how, as Mr. Kerr was saying, that today we have human rights as a top political issue on international agendas, and this is why guys like you work on that with this magazine.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit what is the special number on, and in your opinion, who we could say that are the champion of human rights today, as countries and maybe also as individuals?
Sure. First of all, good evening, everybody. Verità in Relazioni Internazionali is a small online magazine which is based in Florence, here in Florence, and we dedicated this issue not only to human rights but about issues that are about the future of the United States. We tried to make an inquiry to understand where the U.S. is going today and where it's going in the future, and of course, human rights were a big part of our inquiry. So we basically asked Mr. Alec Ross, who works for the State Department, how they're using new technologies such as Facebook and social media to address human rights issues. U.S. is today using public policy, not to talk with just through diplomatic channels, but also with people, with citizens from different states, in order to promote human rights and human issues. Part of our job was also to understand whether or not U.S. is able to protect human rights, because of course we know that it's in a way there's this double standard. Sometimes U.S. really works in terms of human rights around the globe, and sometimes when, for instance, they refuse to sign for the International Tribunal, they're not working in the right direction for human rights.
We actually talked about this today in the seminary with the students, and there were very interesting lessons about, among other issues, the so-called exceptionalism of the U.S.
Exactly. The exceptionalism is one of the concepts that we explored together with the help of some professor from the University of Florence, Professor Virucci.
Yeah.
And of course, this is one of the main issues. If we talk about the United States, we have to understand whether or not they're able to protect the human rights that say they're really, of course, they usually use the term as champions of protection of human rights, and we wanted to understand whether that's true or not. And our answer probably is that sometimes it's true, sometimes it's not.
Basically, if I can say so, if I might express myself, so I think the United States, basically, they do not accept lessons, but they try to improve themselves, because they did, but they do not accept lessons from people coming from another country.
Yes, today it's difficult to answer that question, of course, because we've seen this kind of fights as well with rising powers such as China. We've seen U.S. Telling China about human rights, and then China replying that who is U.S. to speak first. And of course that's something that is going to change in the future, and we will be looking for new questions and new answers in the future.